Hey, let's talk intra-abdominal pressure and my tube of toothpaste analogy. So, I don't know about your family and your house, but the toothpaste comes in use for me because I have people in my house that press their toothpaste like this, in the middle. And so when I see people trying to engage their core muscles and they're just thinking about putting pressure through the center of their belly and they're just trying to pull this back. Yeah, they might be weak up here and they might be weak at the bottom like my tube of toothpaste. Now I see this in exercises as well in my postpartum mums, particularly in exercises like side bends. So mums think that I'm looking for their idea of how it's supposed to feel is that they want to stretch over. So they stretch over and then look what happens to their bellies at the bottom. This might also happen. They might start off controlled with a twist. Tube of toothpaste. They take themselves into a twist, but as they twist, their bellies and pelvic floors start to drop and pop out. And that's where I say this is what they're doing with their bellies. They're thinking about the pressure on their abdominal system. And the only way that they can feel the abdominals working is pulling through that middle. But we want to dial the exercise back. This is really important for those of you at home. People even in studios with coaches looking at them have trouble doing this. So I'm trying to explain why and how you can find out. You want to dial the exercise back to a place where you can feel activation from the pelvic floor first, the lower abdominals, and then you're feeling it scooping upwards through those lower abs. You're scooping up from the bottom and maintaining this. Yep. So that we are actually having a nice strong core. It's just that we want to start with those lower abs. So what I want to see then, and what you can see with me, is when I start to think of, I'm going to work with my pelvic floor first. Pelvic floor first, wrap through those abdominals and keep them tight. Now, what's my range of movement to keep my lower abdominals on? Can I find a side bend to here and keep my abdominals on? Yes, I can. Can I find range here and keep my lower abdominals on? Yes, I can. Then perhaps I can load further and my intra-abdominal pressure can support those lower abdominals staying on, or maybe they can't. But you need to find the variation and the range of the load until you can keep that on. Maybe it will go to your edge and you'll feel a slight bit of tension. I even see sometimes mama's bellies do that little shake as they get to that pressure point where the body's working with that intra-abdominal pressure and it's building those muscles. But you want to stay at that point, not work where it drops and releases off and you're pushing out into those muscles. I hope that that analogy of the toothpaste, that you're not squeezing from the top and pushing down because all of that toothpaste goes down, right? But you're squeezing from the bottom and you're lifting up. Now this is how the piston breath works. We feel exhale, that scooping up, and we're finding then that control from pelvic floor and lower abs. That's keeping those corset muscles nice and tight so you're keeping safe with your core work and you can progress your core work then. Otherwise, we're always going to be, in particular, putting our lower back at risk if we're always working with this pushed out and then we're trying to increase our range in a bend, or we're trying to increase our range with a load, or we're trying to increase our range in a twist. Yep, this is not supporting those back muscles as well. So we want everything to be nice and supportive with that pressure. I hope that's useful.